Larpia.
Well,
Anyway.
now that we've said it once, we may as well just keep on this whole time. Yeah, ask these people if they heard what you yelled.
Judging by Claire's face, I'm gonna say yeah.
Whose face? Oh,
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh well, it's all downhill from this point on.
sorry, you can't be monetized for this video.
Wait, boobies? Stop that.
I don't know. I think it should.
Well, I mean, it's not a question that it stops it per se, but the algorithm that YouTube uses to the monetization algorithm that checks videos will trip up on just the most ridiculous stuff that you wouldn't ordinarily think would be an issue. So it's not that it's. I mean, this is the thing. It's not that it's an offensive word or it's offensive language. It's just that the AI that they use it triggers it, and once it's triggered, that's it.
What if I was saying booby trap?
Same thing.
Same thing. Yeah, it's because because you get into the argument as to whether the AI understands the difference, the context. I mean, you might be saying booby trap, but because the word booby is in there, you could.
We got just
That could be a double entendre.
So it's an appropriate word here would be it's a sensitive issue.
Eat the Muffin wants to know what we're going to learn today. I'm thinking like maybe he should have a tutorial. He can learn.
No.
Cats getting nerves. What do you mean nerves? Nerves what? Nerves of steel? Nervous?
Because you said boobs.
Well, yes. It's yeah.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. He said boobs.
Yeah, we got him to say booby.
Oh,
I could have been no, but I could have been referring to booby pirates.
Yeah, but we still got you to say it.
Blue-footed boobies.
Yep, or the birds, the boobies. See, that's the AI doesn't know that it doesn't know how to distinguish between what we're talking about. It just knows that.
Who is judging the contest and why is it ending on the 31st, not Christmas? Well,
That's a good question.
Who is judging it is none of your business. We can't have you interfering with the judges.
Influence peddling.
It'll be people who work at IMVU. Let's just say that. I probably won't be a judge. I mean, I might be there to say like, oh, this image is, stolen from Google Images or something, but I'm not a judge. And why isn't it ending on the 31st? Or why is it ending on the 31st, not Christmas? And that is really because IMVU offices have the week off next week. So nobody's going to be judging it before that, so we might as well give it a few more days.
Christmas instead of Xmas.
Do people actually say Xmas?
I've never known anyone to actually say Xmas.
Yeah, I thought that was just a way to write it. I don't think you actually.
Interesting.
Well, it's still the same holiday, whichever way you say it or write it. Yeah. Although it could be, I was reading this morning about what people used to celebrate on December 25th. And there's some like Roman holiday.
Oh, it's a pagan. It's
I know.
Depending
on
the
pagan.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. It's just the. I was just going to say that it's. I can't remember the exact reason, but it's supposed to be related to the 20th, the 21st, the solstice. and the 25th is something to do with, well, not that the 25th is something to do with that, but the celebration at this time of year is related to the solstice.
Yeah, and Yule. There's like in
Yes.
Scandinavia they
Yes.
celebrate Yule,
Yeah.
and the Romans celebrate like some god or something.
Yeah.
I don't
One of
know.
many.
Or-
Yeah.
yeah, one of many gods. And then there was one other thing. Oh yeah, and then there's the fact that that Christ was supposed to have been born in the springtime.
Yes, depending on the source. So, yeah.
Well, I think if you're Christian and you look at all the Christian things, it seems to really indicate that that's when he was born. And so, I mean, you can look back and see like when the holiday originated, and they definitely were not taking that into consideration. They're just
Yeah.
like, when do you want to make the holiday?
Well, and you have to take into account the difference between the Julian calendar and the... what was the one before? Because we never used to have 12 months in the year.
Time to get a new husband.
I wanted to enter the
Who?
contest, but my husband told me not to.
You mean your ex-husband told you not to?
Yeah.
Why would... But that... What, so...
My girlfriend told me not to enter. I believe that. Eat the muffin. I think you should enter anyway. That's just...
So what would have happened if you did? It's like, you're not... It's not exactly the nuclear codes.
Or is it?
Or is it? Well, yeah, I guess.
Gonna see if I can grab Miss Meyer in here.
Oh, timeout. Yeah.
Oh, really? She would put you in timeout. Oh, she's bossy.
I wanted to join. Can I be honest and truthful, but not mean and rude and outsider looking in?
I think we all have that choice.
Are you listening to the stream?
No, I'm not. Wait, maybe I am. Okay, that might have been me.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Maybe I accidentally clicked on the button.
That's all right. I mean, it does that.
Disaster. I second what Claire said. What?
Silence as we await. I wanted to join.
Miss Meyer won't come in.
No,
But
because Jinxy will probably try and rope her into doing something.
True, true.
Who, Miss Maya?
Yeah.
Oh, no, she committed to the 29th, I believe.
It's like penciled in.
Really? When did that happen?
Yeah, do you want me to find a clip that says that?
Oh god.
She says, well, I think I could do the 29th. Isn't that what she said? I'll find it.
No, I know you will.
I'm trying to find Polly, but I don't think she's around.
Are we meshing something today?
I don't know.
But today is supposed to be answering questions day.
Fix it Friday.
Oh, okay.
It's Friday. Bring us your broken meshes, your creator problems. You know, it would be really nice if somebody gave us a tutorial on how to make hair.
I would also like to see that.
Well, I could do one, but then you'd probably just, oh, that's not a bad idea. Like, I'd start doing one and you'd be like, that's not how you do it. Here, I'll show you.
Yeah, try it. Go for it.
She said we'll see. We'll see her on the 29th, right? Can I get my font to texture Y?
I can't get my font to texture.
Oh. Wait, I don't understand that. I can't get
The
my font.
image isn't flattened. You generally have to flatten your images before you can use them as textures. So if you've got any font texture, font effects, text.
Is in what program? Is this
I don't know whether
Photoshop?
it would matter in this instance because I think they all kind of do the same thing. You've got fonts as essentially vectors within the bitmap image, but in order
Yeah,
for it to be useful, you have to convert them, flatten the file.
but it's just if you're in Photoshop, right? You can do select all, or you can do like a control click on that layer, depending on what you want, and then you can copy and make a new layer without actually rasterizing your text.
Yes, but your final output has to be a bitmap, has to be a rastered image. So you've got to convert the text to pixels, bitmaps.
Yeah, but if this is like Photoshop or something, or probably any other image editing program, when you go like save for web or save as a JPEG or something, it should do that automatically. Well, we just need to know what program it is.
Yes, yeah.
I can do hair one, no problem. Oh, Miss Maya, I think she just volunteered to show people how to make a hair texture. Wasn't she going to texture a gift box though?
I have no idea.
Maybe she could just show us hair, before she goes to bed.
She can't now.
Wait, what is this print screen?
Oh, it's in Blender.
Oh. Sounds like a question for Jazz Cat.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just put this up on screen.
That looks like it would look really good in 3D though. Ooh.
I changed our shared room to something Christmassy,
Can we see it?
if you want to.
I want to see it. I've been looking at this globe for 20 minutes now.
So what's the issue, Frenzy? But have you... So the textures are not showing on the object. So are you viewing the scene in texture mode? And have you unwrapped and assigned the... So you need a material with a texture with an image. The fact that you've just written unwrapped question mark, yes, that's probably why they're not showing. In order for images to show up on stuff, it has to be mapped to the object. And you map the object by unwrapping it. So that would be, let's say, this thing, this earring accessory thing. What you should do in order for the images to appear is have a UV map, which is this section in the top right here. Hang on, let me switch views. If you don't have this, nothing will appear on the mesh, and it'll essentially be white or pink depending on whether there's an image assigned to the material. But your object, it needs to have a material assigned, which for all intents and purposes you can just regard as an undercoat of paint. In this instance it's a sort of a yellowy gold colour, but the material needs to then have a texture slot, and within the texture slot you need to have an image, and that image can be one that's automatically generated or one that you assign manually. But all of that's needed in order for something to show up on the object. Yes, so that's what you need to do. You need to unwrap, UV unwrap the object. Which for you, you could just do a simple planar or front-back projection, which will just basically it'll essentially split the mesh in half, approximately where you can see the orange highlight, and then you'll be able to assign your image to that mesh. But you need to do that in order for that to happen. You have to unwrap the mesh. Well, if you, depending on, obviously you've got a three-dimensional shape, so you're asking about at the vertices, not specifically. When you unwrap something, so once you've made your selection, just select everything, that's the A key, UV unwrap, and you'll get a lot of options here. And these will work to one extent or another to unwrap the mesh in different ways, so you can just try them and see which one suits what it is that you're doing. So if you did a reset, it'll do that. It'll reset everything so that the image that you're using is assigned one-to-one for each face of the object. Or you can use project from view, which is another interesting one. So that would mean what you could do with that is switch out of perspective mode and then go into either front or side, so you're looking at the mesh straight on, flat on. And then for you, what you could do is project from view, and that'll do exactly what I was talking about. It'll essentially split the mesh in two. It won't physically split it, it'll create a UV map that gives the appearance that it's done that. And that'll be the simplest thing for what you've got. So if you flatten your view looking at this text front on, you can use that and it'll do what you need it to do. Yes, yes. Face, desk, that's where it is. Yeah. Yes. Ortho, perspective. So the view generally is in perspective mode, which obviously gives you three-dimensional perspective, but you can switch or toggle to ortho, which removes perspective and flattens the view. And that's useful for doing the kind of UV map that you're wanting or needing to do. shortcut key for unwrapping is the U key. U for utilitarian. So if you do that, that should sort out your problem. Just play around with the different unwrapping settings and you should be able to figure out something that you need. Is your pose maker dummy mesh transparent? No. No. Well, you can kind of make it transparent depending on whether you switch to wireframe mode. But that changes everything. Or you can do it selectively once you've got the file. Whoops. Once you've got the file, you can select, switch out of edit mode. You can select the object, and in object properties, you can change the rendering. So I can make that wireframe. It doesn't make it invisible or transparent, but it just basically keeps the object in play so that you can see it, but allows you to focus on whatever it is that you want to focus on. So try using that instead. Downloaded number 4 pose maker. You mean female 04? I tried to, this is Frenzy asking, I tried to layer on her face and some of the armature did not move with her. I think it was, oh, yeah, don't worry about those. If you're using the pose maker just to make a pose, you just fiddle around. This is the accessory, so it won't work with this. In fact, actually, let me just open the... I'll just use num num. Can't find the... Yeah, it'll do that. You don't need to worry about those. Just fiddle around with the actual bones that belong to the skeleton. That will modify the avatar mesh. You don't have to worry about that Z head, which is the one where the pet is located, and you don't have to worry about the accessory bone or the accessory armature. Which is what the glasses, the shaders, are attached to. So don't worry about those. Yes, it is. It's hard to move. It's hard to move a lot of the bones because they are orientated relative to 3D Studio Max, not Blender. Although there may be a solution to that coming soon, but it's still being tested. But yes, the easiest way to move the bones is to use the rotate widget. And that'll give you the, and switch that to either normal or local, and that'll give you rotation loops that you can select, left click drag, and it'll move the individual bones. That's the easiest way to do it. And yes, you have to do each bone individually depending on the pose or the animation that you're wanting to do. And it's worth noting that some of the bones, for example, the lower arm doesn't bend. It shouldn't be bending in this direction. It allows the wrist to twist. So keep that in mind when you're manipulating the bones, that you should only really manipulate some of the bones in a particular direction. So the wrist bone or the lower arm bone only twists, and it's the same with the bicep bone, which is the big one at the top. That's the upper arm, essentially, the bicep. It's not the shoulder bone. So that's another one that just twists rather than rotates and acts as a shoulder, because the actual shoulder bone is this tiny little one here, and that one can generally rotate in multiple axes. What are those for on the wrist? Those are your well, they're actually the is it metatarsals? If you watch the hand when I manipulate these, you'll probably see what it does. It's that set of bones from your wrist bone to the top of your fingers. It's essentially that group of bones. Yeah, so it's the metatarsals. It's essentially the top of your hand. But again, they stick out in funny directions because they are orientated relative to the way that 3D Studio Max uses armatures and skeletons, not Blender. But if you're using the rotate tool, you'll get the rotation loops, which will help manipulate the bones easier. It's not to the web of you, it's from your wrist. It controls. Let me switch to so it's essentially it essentially controls this group of faces. Basically, the top of the hand, those bones that stick out essentially control that group of faces. The toes, the feet and toes don't have as much control as the hands, because obviously they're not as expressive in IMVU, so the designers didn't put individual toe bones in. So for the toes, as a comparison, they have very little movement, and they are controlled by the foot bone, I think, which just curls them essentially as a group. So we've got greater control over the hands with the more bones that there are. How many female pose makers is there to have? You just need the one. There are different versions, obviously, by different people. There are a couple of them, but you only need the one. Yes, it would be a nightmare. It would indeed be a nightmare if you were controlling the toes in the same way that you were controlling the fingers. That's a lot of bones to control. Friends is asking, so I want to add poses to my boom mesh. How should I do this? Well, basically you have to do it in two parts. You have to create your poses in one file. If, assuming you are wanting custom poses, like they are grabbing onto the boom. Where's the image gone? So if they were grabbing onto the exclamation marks, I guess those are, you'd have to create your poses in a separate file, and the boom itself would need to be a furniture file with furniture, with a furniture node or a root node attached to which you would have your seating, which is the standing nodes. Or let me see if I've got one. I think it's that one. Yeah, so let's say this green box was your boom mesh. You have to treat that as a furniture item, so you have to set that up as a normal furniture item. So you would parent your mesh to a root node, and that creates a basic furniture item. But if you want poses, you then have to add pose nodes, or the seat nodes. In this instance, it might be standing or sitting, depending on what it is that you want them to do. But if they are standard poses, you just use the standard seat node group. But if you want custom poses, it's a whole different process. You want to wear it as an accessory. Yeah, that's another. It depends on how big the object is or how you want it to behave when people are using it. But that again is another process entirely. What I would suggest actually is just setting it up initially as just a standard furniture item with standard seating nodes, just to make sure that you can do it, and then work from there. I've seen someone add a pose spot to their Avi as an accessory. So when
Polly,
they go on.
I was to say Polly knows how to do that, but it's really buggy.
Yeah, it's not, but she's not actually adding a seat node to the accessory, is she? She's adding what appears to be seating to something, Because what she's actually doing is triggering a pose, not a seat node or not a furniture item.
So you don't actually stand on that node when it happens?
I don't think so. You'd have to ask her. I
Oh,
don't know.
that might be different than what Polly did. I'm not sure.
Well, I know that there are. You can add seat nodes to accessories, if I remember correctly, but I don't know if that's what Polly did. I think what she did was just triggered a pose that made it look like the avatars were seated in the couch that she made.
But have you seen like there's no, but like I don't remember what the one Polly did is, but like somebody, Cowboy Developer or somebody did one where you're a set of bathroom stalls, and each stall has a seat where another avatar can actually sit there.
Oh right, no, I don't know. I don't know. But is that a furniture item or an accessory?
It's an avatar actually. That one is an avatar. Your avatar is a set of bathroom stalls.
All right, no, I don't know how you would do that.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it. I'll link to it.
Yeah.
Because who doesn't want that? Probably everybody wants it. Everybody's gonna want that. I bought it.
Well, yes, it will, Frenzy. It'll take time. It's not something that you can do in a couple of minutes. It does take a bit of fiddling. Because we kind of went over this in one of the previous streams where we were showing the Christmas present stack and how that has some custom poses, and they are two separate files that you have to export as two separate FBX files, which are then both imported into IMVU and then reassembled so that the item works as designed. But you do have to do a bit of fiddling around because you have to position. You can't move the avatar pose skeleton at all. So you have to orientate and reposition the furniture item relative to it in order to pose the avatar correctly.
I found the root product. It's actually a couch. I didn't realize that Cowboy Developer did not make the original. And then the bathroom lavatory stalls is this one.
So let's see if we
I'm
can.
kind of sad. Nobody else has derived anything different from that product. Also, though, somebody did turn the couch into an any skin couch, which that's very creepy. Although kind of cool because if depending on which avatar skin you're wearing, you could have a different colored couch.
How would that work?
And it just takes your skin, but I assume it's like stretching it,
Oh right. Just derived from it to see to have a look See how they've done it.
Who, me?
No, I've just done it. Derived from it.
Oh.
So it has a number of different meshes. Quite a few, actually.
Well, what you should open up is the couch that this one is derived from.
Um,
Yeah, add an actor so you can sit on it. Oh yeah, those are 1x1 textures.
right, so it keeps all the action info.
But people have to understand that that couch is actually your avatar.
It's just one mesh. So it's overriding the default skeleton of the avatar. I'm not sure. What do you mean, Frenzy? So you can't keep your avatar then? I'm not sure what that's relating to. Oh right, no. When you're making a product like this couch, no, it overrides. Essentially, that's the only way you can do it, is to override the default. And that's that's why when you go into the config tab, it shows you a 3-person couch and then the female avatar skeleton, and that one's not selected. So it means that the item is essentially it looks basically like it's a standard furniture item that's derived from an avatar and just set up to override the defaults. So there's nothing particularly complicated about what it's doing. It's just overriding the defaults, which allows it to be used the way that it is. But it is, as Jinx said, that's the avatar. That the chair, the couch, is taking the place or has replaced the avatar. But it doesn't do anything. I mean, in terms of the actions, because all of those are only associated with the avatar skeleton. So unless the couch had bones to match the avatar skeleton, would it then behave as you would expect for the avatar? But it doesn't, so it's just it's an ordinary furniture item that's just been loaded in on top of, or as a replacement for the avatar mesh. Yes, well, that was, somebody mentioned that in the previous, well, not about that particular gift box, but I think Jinx mentioned that there are a couple of products in the catalogue where the gift boxes become the avatar.
Oh, there's one where it's you just wear it on your pelvis.
Yes.
That's another cowboy developer one. It's actually a nice mesh. Like, I wouldn't mind painting it. Pretty good.
Well, yes, it could be. You could set it up as an item of clothing, or just as a complete avatar replacement. So it depends on the product that you derive from, and how you want the product to then behave when it's being used.
It looks like he derived his own product from something called pelvis vault.
I don't know what that is.
It's just like it sounds. Oh, here we go. Okay, here it is. I found it. I've lost Twitch though. Oh, here it is.
And what is the asset tab for? And the debug? Well, when you're making stuff, it's likely that if you keep bringing files in or taking things out, that over the time of the project's development, you'll have a lot of junk in your project development folder. The assets tab, although it's not listing any for this, but might do for this. No, it's not doing it for that either. Let me just open one of mine locally. Oh, those shades. What did, that's a question I need to ask you actually, Jinx. What did Code Rodent say about the shades and accessories?
What did he say about them?
Yeah, because I vaguely remember there being an issue with that when you added an accessory item to, if you derived from the Elvis glasses, it kept bringing the mesh back in place.
But wasn't that just with one iteration of creation? They fixed it.
I don't know.
I think.
Well, the assets tab. So I've brought in just an example file which has got some earrings accessories. But the asset tab will load and show all the assets to do with the project. So that's textures, meshes, animations, sound, skeletons, and all sorts of other things. And the ones that are not being used will be highlighted this salmon pinky color. You can select them and delete or remove them, and it'll remove that part of the project, the unwanted elements, from the file. And it stops, well, it doesn't stop, it helps you manage the files or the project's final file size. Because if you don't edit or remove content that's not being used, it bloats the file, it adds to the file size. So your 2 megabyte limit will be partially taken up by content that's not being used. So it's always a good idea to do that. The debug is a slightly more complicated version of the Assets tab. You can use it to remove or do things to the file. This is the underlying structure of the file, of the project, I should say. This is everything to do with what IMVU is looking for when you make a product. So the things that it's derived from, all sorts of other things, all sorts of bits and pieces. Generally speaking, you won't need to use this for normal projects, but it's essentially a more complicated, in-depth version of the Assets tab. But you can use it for, as the title suggests, debugging. So if you have problems, let's say for example you imported a mesh but it didn't appear in the scene, you can use the debug to check whether the mesh has actually loaded or not. Yes, so it reduces the kilobytes of the project file by removing the ones that are not being used. That's the assets. So that's what those two tabs are for. So you might get this with, as we've got this accessory open, you might get this happening, that for some reason the glasses, which is the root derivable of accessories, is still in the project file when you load, open or import something. So you can remove that as a mesh by clicking the appropriate mesh tab and just removing it, and then of course apply changes and it'll remove it. So that's these earrings. They are just example files that are available on in the accessories template file. Well, that's what we're here for, Frenzy. Learning, education. Well, keep in mind that, particularly for the FBX stuff, although most of those files are usable and functional, the FBX importer for IMVU is an ongoing development thing. So things may not work as might be expected. So it might mean a bit of fiddling around, but it's a lot easier to do a lot of things with the FBX files than it is with the Cal3D stuff. Frenzy just said that FBX won't import into the client. It should do. If you've got the latest version, it should import, because you should have the FBX import tab available. Just click on that button and go through the process and you should be able to do it. If it's not doing anything, then there's possibly something wrong with the FBX that you're trying to import. It's not the importer necessarily that would be causing a problem, it could be the file itself. Because that's how these example earrings or accessories, these example accessories were brought in. They're just imported as an FBX. You select the file and open. You'll get this, the select skeletal root pop up. Make sure the appropriate skeleton is selected. That loads up all the data, which, as you've gone through the videos, so 0 for the mesh ID, change your mesh scale, and then just click the import button. If you're not getting anything here in the importer, then it means the file is probably not complete. Yeah, there's something. If it froze, then there's something wrong with the file. Liana asked, do you need to assign texture material slots in Blender before saving in FBX? It depends. If you want because the FBX process, if there's a material assigned to the object but no UV map or texture mapped image, it'll do what it tends to do with, let me see, where is it? Where's my couch? There it is. It'll do this. This is a simple couch made in hexagon. It's UV mapped, but there isn't a complete image assigned to it. So what it's done is used the material color that's assigned to the object as the texture that it's assigned in IMVU. So if you create a mesh in Blender, Hexagon, DAS, whatever program you're using, if that object has materials assigned, the color that's assigned to the material, that's the diffuse color in Blender, that will be used as the basis of creating a 2x2, a tiny little pixel image that will then be auto-assembled when you import the object into IMVU. So it'll pick up, find, use and convert the material information that that's assigned to the object. That's if you don't have an image UV mapped to the object. So if you want objects to be loaded correctly into IMVU, then yes, you would need to save. If you're using placeholders, temporarily generated placeholder textures, those will need to be saved to make them real, as in real bitmap files, which will then be pulled in when the project is automatically assembled in IMVU. Yeah, no worries, Liana, that's fine. Yeah, but it's an either or. I mean, for some Liana's saying that she does UVs and materials and textures. And yes, if you want greater control over your project, then you have to set up that in your 3D app so the object looks the way that you want it to look. Otherwise, you don't necessarily have to bother with that now with the FBX importer. It'll automatically do it. You can't do that with the Cal 3D stuff though. Yes, so FBX has simplified the creation. It's not so much that it's simplified 3D per se, but it's simplified the creation process in terms of because of the structure of FBX. It basically means so long as you have a mesh and that mesh has a material, it'll import into IMVU. So you don't have to be some super smart Uber 3D mesher to create content for IMVU now. With FBX, you can just import simple objects and simple shapes. No, Frenzy, you will, if you're doing what's been discussed, then you've likely got the files that you need. So that's the that'll be the female 04, 03, well, the female pose file, or the male pose file, and the furniture sample file. That is, where's my... So if you're, Frenzy, if you're making a furniture item out of that boom thing, you need the furniture nodes file, which is this one, and the female 04 pose file, which is this one. Yeah, so Frenzy's just linked to an image of what they've downloaded, and there's quite a lot of the template files. So yes, you've got basically everything there from the looks of things. That yeah, it looks like you've got everything you need, which is yeah. So you've got the furniture pose, the furniture nodes, and female poses file. And that's all you need for what you're doing, at least anyway. It's a mix, Liana. Do they have these files for Blender FBX in the Creator Center, or only on your site at Cat's Bits? From what I gather, there's a limited number of files on. They are the official files, but there's a limited number of what it is that they've provided, because they're well, I think the team has been reduced now. Jinxy would be able to answer that one, but basically they used the files that were provided to them to be able to test the system, and then once everything tested okay, they then bundled those up as the official files for IMVU. But yes, there are more of them on Cat's Bits than there are on in the official download page.
I do think no matter how many people are on the team, they're just like pretty much done with the project.
Yes. Yeah, it's just now tweaking and making sure that everything works the way that it should do.
I mean, they are worth wishing now, I think, that they had done more with animation stuff, but you know, there just weren't really beta testers coming forward that were working on the kind of stuff that like now people are saying we wish we had. So
yes, yeah.
So
yeah.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, so they can only work with what they've got. So if they were given, the priority really was getting the fundamentals in place first. So you're talking about furniture files, accessories, and clothing. The more complicated stuff, like custom poses, couples poses, avatar animations in general, that's much more complicated for creators to generally do. So very few creators actually do those kinds of products. So IMVU's focus was initially on just the core products that people generally make, which is, as I say, furniture, accessories, clothing. And once they got those working, those are essentially the official files. But Cat's Bits obviously has more files because it's Cat's Bits. That's, there are more of them to suit the different products. No, it's not Frenzy. You open the .blend files into Blender. If you've got the zip files, the FBX files in those zip files are provided just for you to play around with importing into IMVU, just to so you've got a reference point. So if you can import those FBX files that are provided in the zip files without any issue, but you then have problems with the ones that you're working on, then the FBX files that are provided are done so for comparative purposes, so that you can check, so that you at least know that there's nothing wrong with the FBX importer, because you've got an FBX file that imports. It's usually Frenzy, do I have to save your Blender? Yeah, basically save your project before you do anything, just so that you've got a point of reference to which you can return if you make a mistake or you need to make a correction somewhere. It's always worth doing that. But generally speaking, you want to save the file anyway, so that you're essentially fixing the data on your hard drive. Again, so you have a fixed point of reference to go back to after you've exported. That's a lot of RAM, 64 gigabytes. If you're having trouble exporting, what you can do is just test. What you can do Where's it gone? Let me just do this. Blah, blah, furniture. Nodes. Okay. If you're having trouble exporting FBX, just open the furniture file and export the furniture mesh. It's just a simple block and the root node. Export those two to FBX. If you have problems exporting this setup to FBX, then you've got more fundamental problems with your computer. You should be able to, without any issue, export these two basic items to create a very, very basic furniture item. If you can't, then there's something that needs to be investigated with your computer. Yeah, so if you've got, let's say for the sake of argument, you do have 64 gigabytes of RAM, you should not have any problems working on any of this stuff. Because as Liana says, that, you know, 2 gigabytes would suffice to be able to produce content for IMVU. You might have trouble running the two programs at the same time because of the resources that are taken up, but that should not affect your ability to export. I know, I would want to trade computers with 64 gigabytes of RAM as well. Swapsies. But that's a general thing for anybody that wants to try and see if they can export, is just open up the furniture file and export the two cubes that are, well, the two objects that are sat at the center of the grid. So that's the mesh cube and the root node. If you can export those without any issue, then you should be able to make content for IMVU through FBX. Oh, hey, Polly. Polly's lurking.
Oh, turkey lurkey.
Don't worry, Frenzy. If you missed it, you'll be able to rewatch. You can rewatch the stream, and it'll all be there. The streams are all recorded and archived. Yeah, I'm not sure what's... it might be local issues. So far as I can tell, looking at the dashboard, the stream seems to be okay. Well, from here to there and back again. There's a problem at back again. Frenzy, you don't need to use imperial measurement. Just use the just use the default units that are set up when you open when you open any Blender file, actually, any new file. You don't need to mess around with the units of measurement. Yes, SketchUp. Sounds like she's used to SketchUp. Yes, if you're using Blender to create and you're concerned about the scaling, just open up any one of the example files and just work straight into that file, and everything will be set up for you. Failing that, if you work from a standard scene, you will then have to import that into the furniture file that you can see on screen, so that you can adjust the size. There's a couple of videos available on that on the stream. Wow, that's Jinx just posted a screenshot in the.
Yeah, Jinx is a moderator in this.
Yeah. So that's freak show horror type stuff.
What? Oh, you put it up there. Oh, Prim has video.
Who has?
Oh. Oh, Prim posted a video link right below. It's better than my picture.
Yeah, I'm not putting that on. And yeah, for those in chat, you can click the link yourself. That's not going up on stream.
I can't believe you made us moderators.
Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Well, come here.
So are there any other, it doesn't necessarily have to be specific to Blender, but if you need help with anything else IMVU related, that's what Friday is for.
Yeah, Prim and I can both answer questions too, so we might know a few things. We know how to make weird avatars. That's always useful. Well, what are you doing? Jump up here. Sorry, my cat wants me to pet him, but he doesn't want to jump up. I don't know. He's insane. He's a cat.
Yeah, that's cats for you.
So we have 32 minutes. What can we make if nobody has questions? I feel like it's the Friday before Christmas, right? So it's just a little slow. Although I was just reading today that only 33% of the world is Christian.
Oh, just you finish that thought very carefully.
No, I realized I said it and then I realized that's a dumb thing to say. Like, I'm not Christian and I still, I guess, celebrate Christmas.
Well,
So,
because it's
anything.
yeah. Well, it's because it's all tied in with the so-called Western philosophy and outlook on life, basically.
And shopping.
Yeah,
And
it's
shopping.
Judeo-Christian. Well, it's not just a belief system; it's more than that. But yeah, so that's I'm surprised that it's.
Sorry, Liana posted hat boxes. Very sore subject.
Oh,
Because I said, what could we make in 32 minutes? She said hat boxes. Polly says, let's talk about religion. That's the whole reason I started talking about it. It's all Polly's fault because of some stuff she was saying. And I was like, yeah.
really? I don't
She
see any
started it.
comments from.
Polly started it. Okay, believe it or not, sometimes I talk to her and it's not in Twitch. Just saying.
Oh, okie dokie.
No, it's not. Try a bathtub drain. And I'm telling you, maybe Polly can go drain her bathtub right now. I'll go take a bath and then drain the bathtub and report back. Just because you read somewhere on the internet that something is not true doesn't make it right. Like, here's a question for you, Prim. Who has been south of the equator? Polystyrene, me, you.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that over there they designed them to drain that way.
How do you design a bathtub to drain that way?
Because it's a lie. Like, it's a myth that it's caused by being below the equator.
But so you're saying that every toilet south of the equator is designed to flush the opposite way.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is that Polly can take a bath and she'll still get that opposite effect. She doesn't want to have a bath right now, though. Some people eat in the bathtub, though.
Whatever.
I'm thinking that this bathtub, this flushing thing is probably a more controversial topic than religion and Christmas.
Agreed. I don't like being lied to.
Okay, let's do this. Let's take a trip to the Southern Hemisphere. Because I think that will settle things. I think it was hard to report harassing.
It's hard to report harassment now.
What? Where? Who's what?
I closed the toilet lid when I flushed. But last time I had a bath, it went anti-clockwise. Oh, see, Polly likes eating in the bath. I don't know what she's on about. that she's not going to take a bath because she's eating. It's multitasking.
Hmm.
Prim is amazing. Who did you pay to say that?
That is Alex's friend.
Oh, well, that's nice. He's got your back.
I won one of those live 24-hour streams, Polly, that they have on YouTube of just you drain. So I
Yeah.
can tune in at any time and watch you drain.
Oh, how about like a mukbang in the bath?
That could work.
So we'll just have Polly eating in the bathtub, 24-hour stream. I have to see my plug hole draining. Okay, that's just not right. Don't you all want to hear my accent? Do we?
What accent is it?
Yeah. I kind of like South African accents. That could be good.
I like Irish accents.
Yeah, they are usually very lyrical. Oh, yeah, we can watch ants. And if you eat in the bathtub, then you are even more likely to have ants. So, oh, Georgia. I don't know. We might have to vote on that one. Maybe each of us can just try to do our best Georgia accent, and Frenzy Wicked Truth can vote on which one is the best.
That's not fair. I can't do an accent.
Yeah,
I can't either.
I can. Just the one I'm doing right now.
See, none of us can really do it, so yeah. It'll be kind of like I saw this video where who was it? Jeff Goldblum was rating tattoos that people had gotten of him, and
Oh.
pretty much none of them were very good. It was just like, who decided to get a tattoo of Jeff Goldblum? Really?
Hang on, I'll be right back. You keep talking.
Oh, okay.
Keep talking.
Not that you
I'm
need
paid by the
encouragement.
word.
It's like a commercial. Oh,
Yeah,
let's
commercial break. So somebody needs to hum commercial break music.
Oh, I was just going to do commercials. So
Oh, we'll go
shop.
to commercial then. Yeah.
You want your avatar to not wear any pants? Shop Prim.
Excuse me.
I'm helping you.
I don't need help.
Oh, you need help.
Oh my god, what is this?
I don't know. I don't know. I just don't have anything to say. We can have an accent battle.
An X? No.
Who would judge it? Who would judge it? Like maybe somebody who doesn't have English as a native language. Like where all the accents sound foreign to them.
Wait, what's going on?
I asked a simple question and Jinx bites my head off. What did I say?
What are they on about?
I don't know that person said before something about can they be
Yeah,
I didn't understand the question. Oh,
I
something
saw them saying, can they be honest, but then I didn't see them post anything.
yeah, I didn't see anything after that, but I wasn't actually watching the stream the whole time, so
Yeah, I was too busy dancing.
none of my business. I'm pretty sure I didn't say that though. Did I say that? I might have said that to you.
I feel like there's been some misunderstanding.
Or trolling.
Or trolling.
Wait. Oh, wait, what's the screenshot?
Hi, y'all. Come on in and pull up the stuff.
Note to self. Like, put self on mute, please. That was good.
Da-dun, da-dun, da-dun.
Yeah, I didn't see anything, so I don't know how I told somebody something was none of their business. And I would only probably say that if it was a personal question. And even then, I might still answer it instead, so you never know. Yeah, I think you have a stalker now, Prim.
Back.
Oh, good, because we had a lull in the conversation after I got accused of.
You mean you couldn't do adverts for 3 minutes?
I got in trouble for my advert.
You got for doing what?
Polly, Prim knows those people that have been timed out, so I wouldn't put too much into it.
All
Oh,
right.
I went quiet. I don't know.
Your microphone volume went down.
Yeah, but I didn't do anything. I don't even think I moved farther away from the computer. In fact, I'm closer to it.
Yeah, I'm not sure your audio's gone quiet.
No, we were trying to figure out though why this person said that I said none of their business about something. Which doesn't sound like me because I'm really an oversharer, so.
Yeah, I don't even know. Your microphone went quiet when you opened that Vocaroo link.
Oh, really? It just now kind of never came back?
Yeah, I think it like adjusted your volume.
That's weird. Well,
I can't see any reference to... I can see the post that you're probably referencing, but I can't see what it is that they are objecting to.
What was
Yeah,
the post? What did I typed something?
No, they said I asked a simple question and Jinx bites my head off. I felt bad and left, and she's staff. Is there any way all IMVU... Is this the way all IMVU employees are? Anyway, goodbye. Wanted to get my 2 cents in, but not be put down. None of my business. Bye.
I did read their message out loud because I was trying to understand it, and I thought maybe they would clarify.
Oh, your microphone's back.
Oh, it is? Oh, good.
Yeah, but what are they referring to?
No, I didn't understand the first message. I was asking for clarification, and they didn't say anything for the next like hour and a half, so I'm not sure.
Well, that's what I mean. What is it? Okay, so you've made it, not you, but the person in the comments has made a statement. Okay, we have no idea what you are referring to. So if you want a response from anyone, you're going to have to actually inform people exactly what it is that you're talking about. Otherwise, we might as well give you answers that could be to do with making biscuits.
Yeah, I do know a little bit about making biscuits.
Yes, I know. That's why I mentioned it.
Wait, how do you know I know how to make biscuits? Wait, are we talking about British biscuits or American?
Well, you would call them cookies, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I do know how to make those too.
Yeah, the Instagram photo that you posted of the wine glass and the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the wine glass and the bottle. It's the books that are behind it.
Yeah.
Every single one of those is about cooking.
Oh yeah, but I think that's my raw food cookbook shelf.
Yes, but it's food and cooking, so I'm assuming you know how to make biscuits.
Yes, and I'm sure there are some cookie recipes for raw cookies too.
Yes.
But I can't say biscuits. And like, if you say biscuits, I know you mean cookies, but I
Well,
can't say it because I'll mean like, like buttermilk biscuits or something.
oh right. Yes, we say biscuits. You say
Yes,
cookies.
Frenzy Wicked Truth. Sorry to interrupt. I don't, but it sounds like she's leaving. She is a she. I don't want to say
I
she.
think so. Yes. Yes.
We are streaming on Christmas Day, so come visit us so we're not lonely. Please, please.
Well, I thought you were doing the whole alcohol infused thing.
You know, I had a little time to reflect on that, and I wonder if that might be a bad idea.
Yeah, I
I
wonder.
mean, I'm in trouble suddenly now for being staff, and I don't even know what I've done. But if I did that, I think I might actually know what I've done. And well, depending on how much I had, but
Well, we'll probably get. They did ask. Well, I think they attempted to ask a question, but they weren't even clear on asking the question. So, and that was right at the very beginning of the stream. So, as you quite rightly say, that's almost an hour ago. Hour plus.
it's just really weird. Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand if you missed something or if somebody's
Well, it's
trolling
just trolling for
or
attention, I guess.
somebody who's just like in a weird mood today or something. I don't know.
Well, we can
Holly,
all be in weird moods, but that doesn't necessarily justify doing that kind of thing and just calling people out like that and thinking that there aren't any consequences for it.
yeah, but I'm saying I feel like some people just, it's like, okay, I'm not trying to say this person has Asperger's because that's totally different from this situation, but that's the same kind of thing where you don't necessarily read people um, the way
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
somebody like that could be very difficult to have a conversation with without
yeah,
misunderstanding.
yeah, yeah,
So I don't know a good way to say that. But
yeah.
Polly, I'm wondering, are biscuits cookies or biscuits where you are? Where are you going with this?
Yes, I would agree with what Hula Prim is saying. You're
I'm lovely.
Lulu
I'm a lady, and I like ladies' things.
Or something.
something.
Didn't you ever watch Little Britain?
No.
Oh my God, that is the best show. Well, maybe there's some show that's better. I don't know, but it's hilarious. It's so funny. You have to watch it just to have like all the inside.
Wait, you referenced it before though.
What?
Jazzcat referenced Little Britain
Oh,
before.
no,
No,
he was
no.
actually referencing an older show, but he did know that there's a newer
Do
one
you
from Little.
do you know if I say this, which show does this belong to? Computer says no.
Little Britain.
No.
Well, obviously it's not because you just said it's from an older show. But
Yeah, it's Red Dwarf. When the computer is asked to do something and he doesn't agree with doing it, that's Holly, the computer. He will sometimes say, "Computer says no" in his sarcastic voice, and that predates Little Britain by quite a while.
Red Dwarf when I was like 4 years old.
Yeah. So Jinxie and I have
An ongoing argument about
yes,
it.
yeah.
Wait.
Yes,
Okay.
because you call biscuits like that's dried biscuits, isn't it? The kind of ooh,
I have linked to a picture of a biscuit.
that's not a biscuit, that's a scone.
No,
No. You will know. When you bite into it, you'll know that it's not a scone. Like scones are much denser, where biscuits are light and fluffy.
Wow. Okay.
I swear, me and my boyfriend have nearly broken up over the cookie biscuit thing.
Oh,
So.
no, I remember this answer now. Wait, just use, I remember I'm just joking around saying it was a joke. I did say that. I said it's none of your business who's judging it. It's just like, I was trying to make a joke that,
Oh my God, is that what?
no, but wait, I was trying to make a joke saying if you knew who the judges were,
Yeah, well, yeah. Was that bit missed?
um,
I
yes.
guess they must have missed that because that was the whole point of you saying it's none of your business.
Well, it's unfortunate because I feel like a lot of times there are miscommunications in text,
Yeah, they're
and
getting that wrong.
when you have voice, you make your intentions a little more clear, and yet obviously I'm still not making my intentions or my tone
Yes,
clear.
to avoid clear conflicts of interest, the judges of the contest are not being disclosed because the Russians did it.
The Russians are judging the contest,
Yeah.
but the Americans will be the ones testing for drug usage.
Yeah.
Am I still muted? Yeah. But then I did also go on to say that it will be employees that are judging the
Oh
contest.
yes.
And also that the reason that it's on the 31st is because that it ends on the 31st is because employees have vacation all of next week. So since they're judging the contest, they won't be around to do it right at the beginning of next week.
Yeah. So I mean, don't take everything so quite so seriously. It is
Just a misunderstanding.
yeah, it's a contest, but it's all in good humor. Everything's in good humor, so you know.
But this is the same person who she said that her husband won't let her enter the contest?
Yes, and never explained how, why, wherefore.
Yes, I'm still very curious about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got distracted by Eat the Muffin. The Russians are the baddies again. We're back in the 50s. Well, hey, it's going to be 2050 before you know it, so. God bless America. He's allowed to say that because he's an American. Wait, I heard though that the Russians, like if you're a Russian Olympic athlete, you can still compete. You just can't compete for Russia. So you'll be like undeclared or something like
Yes. Yeah. Because it was a boycott, wasn't it?
that. I think it's
Was it a
the opposite of
boycott?
like, I mean, it's the Olympics boycotting the Russians. Is that a boycott?
Yeah. Right. So yes. So
Really a
there's the what is it? An undesignated countries list or whatever it is.
but was that ever a thing? Is that new? Like,
I
have we had
think.
that?
Well, no. It's. I mean, it's. There has been a sort of a pseudo category of that kind of thing because that was applied. I think there are a number of former dictatorships where participants couldn't participate under the colours of the country that they were born in, but they were. I think the Olympic Committee set up something where they allowed you to participate, but you would be doing so as an undeclared, essentially.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I thought traditionally Olympic athletes in Russia have been like sponsored by the government, right? Like that's who pays for them to train and everything from the time they're pretty young. So how does that work that they suddenly go and compete and they're not officially with Russia? Like, I just wonder if they will.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, the only thing I can think is that it's just to do with the way that the as you compete, you represent the colours, the flag of the nation that is basically would otherwise be sponsoring you. Without that, I guess it's under the auspices of maybe the Olympic Committee itself or something.
It just seems like other things. Like you could be in the Tour de France or something, and you could be racing for Spain, and yet you're not actually from Spain.
Oh,
But
right. No. Yes, it's right. I see what you mean.
but the Olympics are very much about like doing it for your country.
Yeah.
You know, like you're
Yeah.
proud to be representing your country.
Well, in the main, I mean, there have been competitors that have not necessarily been born and raised in their particular countries. They've competed for the countries of. I mean, I think quite a number of the British track athletes were from the West Indies, but they were able to, and I think Kenyans as well. They have the same thing. So, but that might be under the auspices of the British Commonwealth, but I don't know. One can make an educated guess, but without looking at Wikipedia and doing proper research, it's just an educated guess.
So what are we going to do Monday? Everyone make something and share. We should do something easy on Monday, like something texturing. And also we should give away a lot of gifts. Well, I will.
I was just working today on an accessory example file, which I'll bring up on screen, and I just made it by happenstance as a triangle, and that made me think if I added a little drop to that, it looks like a Christmas tree.
Or a cowbell.
Well, yeah, needs more cowbell. So we could probably do some. We could probably mesh that up relatively quickly. Do a mesh accessory that's a very simple Christmas tree decoration, which you can then create a texture for.
Wait, who's making a texture? Me?
Well, yeah, you can make the texture.
Sure, I'll make a texture for anything. I don't care. I really want to find someone that will participate in texturing one of the gift boxes, though.
Well,
And
yeah,
before we
this is a fallback. If no one comes forward to stick their hands up and say I will do this, then we have a fallback solution.
Yeah, I don't know who's gonna show up on Christmas Day, but I guess we'll find out.
Yes, it will be a surprise.
Yeah, it's always a surprise.
Yeah.
Maybe the surprise is whether anyone will show up.
Oh, Prim's leaving.
What?
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by as per usual.
We even stopped talking about anything like history or anything. It is almost 6, though.
Yeah, we've been going for 2 hours. Not quite the 3 that we did the other day, but...
Prim hole. Yes, it is definitely less than 4. Well, I think it must be time to go.
I guess. So, if you've got any questions that need to be answered, keep them... And it's not urgent. Make a note of them and ask them next Friday, I guess. I don't know.
We should have a place where people can send them.
Well, there is the hashtag IMVU FBX.
On Instagram?
Well, it's a hashtag, so I guess it can be used anywhere. So Twitter, Facebook, wherever the hashtags are usable.
Well, yes, that is true. But if you want to find it later, hashtags aren't going to go across platforms, although that would be a useful tool to have. Somebody must have made an app for that.
Hashtag tracking.
Yeah, like hashtags across platforms.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we can start there with just using that as a hashtag and then see how it goes. If people have questions, they can ask them on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. What's the other social media? Google.
Yeah, but then if you don't see their question, then they might be really disappointed.
True, but, we do our best.
What if they send you a QM on IMVU?
You mean a personal message?
Yeah.
Well, they can do that if they're on IMVU, yeah.
Well, if they're not on IMVU, I don't know why they
Well,
are.
people don't always use the messenger.
True, but everybody should know how, shouldn't they? I mean, if you don't know how to use the messenger, well, maybe that'll be their question. How do I send people a message on IMVU? Oh, Liana said she'll do a GIMP texture. We don't trust you in the live chat, Liana.
Well, yeah. No. Well, yeah.
We need a practice run for that first or something.
Yeah. Yes. Well, if you've got questions, just send them through whatever media you've got access to, whether that's IMVU Messenger, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just use the IMVU FBX hashtag and we'll know what it is.
And we'll just try to check all the platforms.
Yeah, well, that's the only way we're going to be able to do it.
Well, otherwise people could email me, jinx@imview.com.
Yeah, that'll work. Oh yes, we figured out what Liana's issue was with the audio.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's the usual thing of modern computers now have all that surround sound stuff. So when you plug something into one of the sockets, it doesn't know. Well, it asks you what it is that you're actually trying to plug in, whether it's a microphone, speakers, 5-speaker surround system, and that's what the problem was, and we got it sorted out. So that should work.
So were we getting some kind of 5-speaker surround sound?
I guess that's probably what the computer system was thinking was going on. So the computer was definitely saying no.
I did kind of feel like that's what was going on.
Yeah.
I did feel surrounded by that sound.
Yeah, it did. So that's why it happened.
Well, that's good to know. All right, well, let's have a great weekend and come back Monday and we'll have a fun.
Yeah, Monday.
Oh, it was trying to use the front mic. Yeah.
Yep. All right then. Well, do the usual: subscribe, press the buttons.
For sure, press the buttons so that you can get the thingies.
Yeah. Press the whatchamacallit to get the doodads.
Subscribe so that you know when we go live.
That's the thing.
Yeah. And goodbye until Monday.
Until Monday, yes. And we don't know who's going to turn up, so if you want to know, you'll have to turn up yourself.
Yes. We'll be here.
Yep, we'll be
Jazzcat.
here. Yes, we'll be here.